Children, are you busy with your studies? Today we are going to study the second poem. What is the name of the poem, children? Yes, the listeners. Before seeing the poem, I would like to tell you about the poet. This poem is written by Walter de la Mare. He was one of the England's greatest poet and a famous writer, especially for children. He was born on 25th April 1873 in London. He was a poet, short story writer, and novelist. The Listeners is said to be his most famous poem. His writings have an airy, fantastic quality which serves as a means of entry into a world of deeper reality. This poem remains one of the most famous pieces of writing, and it reflects the author's fascination with mystery and the supernatural. The poet in the poem has created a beautiful scene full of mystery and fear. The Listeners is a stanza long poem with 36 lines. In the poem, an unnamed figure, the traveler, knocks on the door of a house in the moonlight and asks if there is anybody inside. He visited a house in the jungle. The house was lonely and deserted. It was a haunted house. Ghosts lived in it. The traveler got down from his horse and knocked at its door again and again. He repeatedly shouted for some time and got no answer. The poet creates an atmosphere of silence, fear, and suspense. Dear children, have you ever seen a horror movie or a horror show? Is there an atmosphere of horror or fear? Yes, it is. The poem which we are going to deal today is the poem which is full of an atmosphere of mystery, horror, suspense, and eerie. Now let us see the characters of this poem. The characters mentioned in this poem are the traveler, the horse, and the ghost. The action of the poem takes place during the night in a lonely house in the middle of the forest. Here the traveler is the speaker of the poem. Okay, children. Now we will see the poem lines. Now I'll read the first two lines. Is there anybody there? Said the traveler, knocking on the moonlit door. Here, traveler means a person who is traveling from one place to another. One place to another place. Moonlit means lighted by moonbeams. Now let us see the explanation. A lonely traveler arrived on his horse to the lonely house in the forest. Children, the traveler arrived late at night at a lonely house in the forest. Then knocking on the moonlit door asking if anybody was there. So children, the traveler arrived late at night at a lonely house in the forest and knocking on the moonlit door asking if anybody was there. Now I'll read the third line. And his horse in the silence chambered the grasses. Here, chambered means chewed upon noisily. Now let us see the explanation. The horse had traveling a long way to reach the lonely house in the forest, and it was very tired and hungry. So the horse chewed the grass noisily in the silence due to hunger. Now we'll see the fourth and fifth lines. Of the forest ferny floor, and a bird flew up out of the turret above the traveler's head. Here, ferny means a green plant with no flowers and lot of long leaves like feathers. Flew, past tense of fly. Then turret, that means a small tower in the corner of a large building. The haunted house was standing alone in the forest, and the place around the house was a green plant with no flowers and a lot of long leaves like feathers, as it was not maintained. And there was a small tower that projected from the wall of the lonely house, and the bird was living in the tower projected from the wall of the house flew out above the traveller's head, which proved that it lived there undisturbed. Now we'll see the next lines. And he smote upon the door again a second time. Is there anybody there? He said. Here, smote means knock loudly. Now I'll tell you the explanation. Children, this traveler knocked loudly the door again, and he asked if anybody was there in. Again he is knocking and asking. Now next lines. But no one descended to the traveler, no head from the leaf-fringed sill leaned over and looked into his grey eyes, where he stood perplexed and still. Descended, here descended means come out to respond. Here leaf-fringed means framed by leaves. Sill means a flat piece of wood that forms the base of a window. Leaned, that means a bend. Perplexed means confused. Now I will give you the explanation. The second time the traveler knocked loudly at the door and asked if anybody was therein. But no one answered the call of the traveler, and no one's head peeped from the leaves-framed window to look at the traveler. Here peeped means to look at something secretly, especially through a small opening. They bent down and knocked into his grey eyes. Children, here the word they refers to the ghost. They refers to the ghost. So when the ghost bent down and looked into his grey eyes, the traveler was standing confused and still when nobody answered him. Now we'll see the next lines. But only a host of phantom listeners that dwelt in the lone house then. Here host means the owner of the place. Phantom means ghost. Dwell or dwelled means lived. Now here the explanation. Children, according to the lines of the poem, the phantom listeners or the ghost who lived in the lonely house of the forest, and the ghost were the owners of the house when they were alive. Alive means not dead. So the ghosts were the owners of the house when they were living. But even after their death, they continued to live in the house as a group. Understood, no? After the death also they were living as a ghost. Now next lines. Stood listening in the quiet of the moonlight to that voice from the world of men, stood thronging the faint moonbeams on the dark stair that goes down to the empty hall. See children, that stood, here stood it is written, no? Stood is the past tense of stand. World of men refers to the human being. Thronging means crowding. Faint means dull. Stair means step. Now I will give you the explanation. In the dark, silent night, the ghost listening attentively to the sound of the human being which vibrates the hall, by standing as a crowd under the dull moonlight on the doorstep that leads down to the empty hall. So the ghosts gathered at the steps and they were silently listening to the call of the traveler. Understood now? They were listening. All the ghosts, they were standing inside and listening. Now see the next lines. Hearkening in an air stirred and shaken by the lonely traveler's call. Here, hearkening means listening attentively. Stirred means disturbed. I'll give the explanation. When the lonely traveler knocked loudly at the door, the ghosts were listening to the call of the traveler, which disturbed the common environment. Now, see the next lines. In these last three lines. And he felt in his heart their strangeness, their stillness answering his cry, while his horse moved, cropping the dark turf. See, the traveler speaks from the world of men and the phantoms from the supernatural world. Here the poet presents a contrast between the world of phantoms and the world of men. Here strangeness means strange and unfriendly behavior. Cropping the dark turf means eating the grass. Understood now? Now, next lines. Lines explanation I'll give. The traveler sensed a strange presence in the silence that meets his question. His horse, undisturbed by all this, continues to graze in the dark forest under the sky full of stars. Here the horse, it was tired and so it was continually eating. The traveler got no reply from the ghosts who live in the haunted house. He felt the strangeness of the atmosphere. He felt the silence of the house in which the ghost seemed to be answering his call. His call and his knocking at the door were answered back by nobody. Now next lines we'll see. Neath the starred and leafy sky, for he suddenly smote and door even louder and lifted his head. Tell them I came, and no one answered. That I kept my word, he said. Never the least stir made the listeners, though every word he spake fell echoing through the shadowiness of the still house from the one man left awake. Here, stir means movement. Spake, that means a poetic usage only, meaning spoke. Stir, this spake means, what is it? Spoke. The traveler suddenly beats on the door once again, even more loudly than before, because so much time over now, he was standing. He then calls out, asking whosoever is listening to pass on a message, that no one answered him when he came to the house, but he kept his promise. Nobody answered his call. He shouted, but he did not get any response. He feels disappointed. Inside the house were ghosts listening to his knocking, but they were inside and listening, but they were not giving any reply. The horse went on eating the grass under the starred sky and leafy trees. The listeners don't make any motion in response to this. The ghost in the haunted house made no movement. This traveler, he was shouting and asking all these things, but the ghosts, they were simply standing there. The traveler's words reverberates through the dark, empty house, coming from the only living person around. Here is the atmosphere of awe and mystery. He shouted out to the listeners to note that he visited the house according to the promise. Earlier he made one promise. Now he fulfilled that promise, isn't it? Now we'll see the last 5 lines. From the one man left awake, they heard his foot upon the step, and the sound of iron on stone, and how the silence surged softly backward when the plunging hoofs were gone. Here, stirrup means a metal piece for holding the foot of the rider. You have seen, no? Surged. Surged means filled the place. Plunging hoofs means the heavy sound of the horse's feet as it moved away. Now I'll give the explanation. The phantom listeners heard him jump onto his horse, and then the sound of the horse shoes on the stony path as the traveler rides away. So the ghost, they understood the traveler is going back. The silence of the forest quickly returns as the sound of the horse's forceful riding fades away. That means again there is silence. When the traveler had gone away, the silence of the atmosphere returned. The place was filled with silence, because we know that this house is in the middle of the forest. So there will be silence, isn't it? Now children, did you understand this poem? So children, study these words meaning. 5 words meanings. Now I am giving small ones only, easy ones that you can study, isn't it? Now, okay children, thank you.